Good evening, everybody, and welcome to tonight's episode of ERP. That's right, ERP, three little letters that stands for an exquisite, respectful position. Something none of us are known for. Let's just make that perfectly clear, as we've discovered in the past. Moving on, picking up where we last left off. The Devil's Advocates, dealing with a series of murders in the shanty town of Sutton, outside of the capital of Dragontail Coast, Dragontail, encountered another worldly being known as a blood hag. After spirited combat that resulted in one person being worried about scars potentially forming around their face, and another who's definitely going to have scars forming around their face, the party came out on top. And after a small spirited debate with the townsfolk, decided that the tavern would be named, potentially, the Floating Face. Returning back to the High Palace to inform King Rodrin Darafen of your deeds, the king himself was very pleased with how efficiently you took care of their problem. A number of things were covered in your very quick chat, as well as a side chat between Alastair and the king's personal guard, Gara. Such things were mentioned as a teleportation to Rivermouth was available to them when they saw fit, as they are now not traveling by foot, instead by magic. For the first time in a long time, you guys are free to do what you please. Zane, you were informed that your father may or may not be taking some covert operations against his boss, Victor Latimer. And Alastair, you learned the story, or at least a little bit more information, of an orc in the mountains named Grumashar, which in Orcish is son of Grumsh, and that he wears similar armor to yours, except potentially made out of real gold dragon scales. So, with this, the king went to bed, and you all were leaving the High Palace. Now, at this point, it's about 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. You guys are standing outside the High Palace, looking out onto the district of the town known as the Scepters, and just past it, the Velvet Passage. Devil's Advocates, what would you like to do?
Do you mean individually or as a group?
Well, so that's the interesting thing. So, I know typically we sit here and we discuss things in character, role play it out, etc. However, for situations such as this, I'd say metagaming or out of character talk is probably U5's best case scenario. I'm here to facilitate this. So, what I'm offering you right now is the Devil's Advocates will decide their departure date, if at all, from Dragontail. That could be in 2 days, it could be in 3 days, it could be in 2 weeks, though be aware there may be consequences. During that time, instead of sitting down and role-playing out every single day, we will be using downtime. Meaning, if you guys say, for example, were to decide that you wanted to take 5 days until you depart, over those next 5 days, you could each individually outline to me what your character will be spending those 5 days doing, whether that's shopping, going for a walkabout, bird watching, whatever you guys decide to do. Ultimately, though, at this point, I'm going to sit back and you five can discuss what your character's plan of attack will be.
Okay.
So I should ask this instead of my usual question. RPGs with ERP, what would you all like to do?
What will we do today? What show? The weird mix of music.
I love it.
It's
Me too.
It's optimistic.
It is. You guys are in literally the biggest city in the entire continent. You have time.
Yeah.
There's a path. There's time now. You can do it all.
It's now time for our side episodes. It's the beach episode.
This,
Oh,
yeah,
hell yeah.
quite literally, this is, yeah. Yeah, that's what this is.
So,
This is the filler episode.
It could be.
I propose to the group that maybe we should find a permanent place to stay.
Like headquarters?
Yeah. A headquarters, a house. The city probably has enough resources to be a base of operations for, teleportation circles and anything we want to do, buy or sell. Like this.
Can we afford to pay rent here?
I don't know.
Well, you know what? Considering we helped out the king, maybe he would give us some sort of tenancy pardon.
Or just a free house.
Or we could offer services to have room and board at somewhere. That would be my big suggestion for the whole group. I think that would be super cool.
Okay.
And of course, we'd have to name it.
Alright, that's fair.
So we're able to kind of like plot out what we want to do for what would be in game time 5 days.
You can do you guys can decide as a group how long you want to stay here until you take off.
I'd recommend 2 or 3.
Yeah, I think like 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
Okay, 2 or 3 days.
I'm sitting on 3, 4.
Yeah, I think staying in one place for a little bit longer than, I mean, the town hasn't burned to the ground yet, so I think we're doing well.
Yet.
This town.
Well, I've got an idea for what I want in those few days.
Okay.
I've got a little bit of an idea as well.
Okay.
Yep.
So just for my sake, and for the sake of making this consistent and easy, did we decide on 2, 3, or 4 days downtime?
Let's all meet in the middle at 3.
3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good
Yeah.
with 3.
3 days. So we're gonna have 3 days of downtime. I'm just making some notes here, so I keep everything straight for me, because this could get chaotic.
Yep.
So on night 0, you all head from the High Palace to the Goblin, correct?
Yep.
Your previous lodgings? Okay. I assume, for the sake of brevity, you all sit, you have a meal, you chat a bit, talk about how ripping off a scab face is pretty hardcore. You all go to bed, take your long rest, because I know some of you desperately need it.
Thank God.
So, we're going to do 3 days of downtime. So, just so I keep this straight, on Discord here, I have a list of names that conveniently puts you all in alphabetical order.
Yay.
So, yes. Yes, I'm last.
Hey,
So-
and Z immediately.
So, Alastair, what are you going to spend your 3 days doing? And just as an aside, because we are kind of new to this, if you're going to be doing something with someone on a specific day, I will make a note of that and we'll work that in when we get to them.
Okay. The big thing I would like to do for at least one full day, 8 to 12 hours,
Okay.
is finding somewhere to study about orcs and Grumishar in particular.
Okay. Would you like to take day 1, day 2, or day 3 for that?
I'm going to take all of day 1.
For your first day. Okay, so it's fresh in the mind, so let's do that.
Okay.
So Alastair wakes up fairly early. Alastair, with your upbringing, you grew up in a fairly studious situation. Not necessarily your favorite activity, but one you're used to. So when it came time for you to wake up and you had a topic you wanted to learn, You knew the drill. And you head out fairly early in the morning. So, this is not your city, Alaster.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you, as Alaster Zafin.
Okay.
You have the map before you. You have a number of different districts.
Yes.
What district are you immediately going to go to first and start asking for a place of study?
I am going to go to... I'm going to go to the Inkwell district because to me, ink and paper equals knowledge.
Okay. You very quickly ask some nearby townsfolk, whereabouts would I find people of knowledge? And without question, Alaster, they direct you to the Inkwell district. Good choice.
Nice.
Good call. You find your way into the Inkwell district, and you notice that each house appears to be an experiment of some kind. That someone had tried a new building style, and for better or for worse, each one is different. You see some that could even be described as like 2020 modern homes. It's very strange. It's almost like a time capsule of every type of building there could possibly be. You wander through here for a bit, and eventually you come to a building that, in its bizarre, almost modern-esque architecture, is designed like a open book, kind of sitting like a tent, with large glass walls covering where the book does not cover. As you walk up to it, you see a very beautifully carved marble sign that says the Inkwell Library.
This looks to be the place.
All right.
My old friend, books.
So, I assume you head in?
Yep.
Heading in, it's fairly quiet, as a library should be, and you kind of peer in to the different rooms, and you see one room that's full of books, another room that appears to be stacks of almost like a wine cellar, but full of scrolls, as well as you look to the other side, and there appears to be an area that is full of small black boxes, very carefully labeled. Which room would you like to go into?
I mean, my mission is books, but small black boxes seem very interesting. I'm definitely going there first.
Okay, you walk in, and you're greeted with a very a small gnome. Kind of turns around, and goes, "Oh, hello."
Yes, hello. I was here to do some research, but I'm wondering what these interesting black boxes are for.
Oh, you're not from here, are you?
Not even close.
Kind of looks at the great sword on your back, goes, and I assume you're not the typical academic type.
When I was a child, you could say I was, but...
well then I shouldn't be so quick to judge. I do apologize. This here is the Inkwell's Department of Antiquities. Anything that we find historical or of interest is carefully packaged and cataloged and stored here.
Well, I mean, artifacts are one thing. What I'm looking for is information on orcs and Grunch, in particular, and or his son.
That's interesting. As I'm sure you're aware, Grunch is a storied individual. We don't have exactly antiques in regards to Grunch, as he is what one would consider a metaphysical being or a god, if you will. If I recall, due to the story of Grunch that I learned in some of my studies in university, the best place to look would actually be in the ancient scrolls.
If you could just point me in that direction, that would be very helpful.
Literally across the hall there, sir.
Thank you. Sorry, I was kind of got wandering eyes a bit. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Of course. I assume you head across the hall?
Yes.
You're met with another small gnome. They look pretty similar, gazing downwards at them, but they are indeed different. This one kind of looks and goes, "Yes?"
Yes, I was pointed here by your associate. I'm looking for information on orcs, particularly Groomch and his son.
Not sure if we have anything on Groomch's son, but we do indeed have something in regards to the story of Groomch. One moment, please. And he kind of scurries around kind of a small partition wall. And almost comically from out of nowhere, Alastair, you see this library ladder just kind of erect in front of this wine shelf. And this gnome's on top. And goes, Groomch, under G, predictably. Pulls it out, walks down. He kind of spreads it out onto the table. Alastair, what languages do you speak? I don't think I'm so terrible with remembering that, and I do apologize.
I speak. I was going to say heavy armor. I speak Celestial, Common, and Orc.
Huh. Okay. Shit. Yeah, so you look down at this and you haven't seen this particular set of characters in a while, as this scroll appears to be written in Celestial. Okay. Alright. So, at this point, you're being watched over by this gnome. Predictably, this is some form of ancient relic. I'm going to have you make an investigation check for your research.
Okay, don't please be good. Please be good. On -1. 14.
14. Okay. It's been a while since you've read Celestial. It's iffy. Especially this Celestial appears to be rather ancient, and there's some characters that sort of resemble modern ones, but don't exactly... It's not exactly the same script. It's kind of like reading a book written in the 1800s, where the S's are a little different type thing.
Yeah.
But what you do read is the story of the eternal battle between Bane and Groomch. Where through the Dawn War, Groomch at one point decided to betray the other gods in their war with the Primordials. And the god whose name only became known as Bane battled him. And through countless millennia, the two battled just this eternal conflict until eventually Bane made the ultimate decision to cast a devastating blow to Groomch, knocking him from his plane to the prime material plane, where he found himself impaled on mountains. And it's written that from his blood, orcs sprouted from the stone.
Whoa.
Is there anything else in particular you're looking for from this story?
No, from this story in particular?
Yes. Any details you might be trying to glean?
More looking at family lines, I guess. Like lineage of, or very important orcish people.
There is a number of orcs mentioned, strangely enough, not by name, in the following paragraphs of this story, mentioning that there's certain orcs that decided to head deep underground, never to be seen again. Other orcs decided to make their homes in the mountains. There is a tale, kind of almost like a a small footnote that appeared to be added later, mentioning that orcs ultimately coming to the prime material plane after dwarves, elves, halflings, humans, etc., found themselves unwelcome in any society, and therefore in their early days determined that their existence was simply for destroying what was. But unfortunately, orcs, it's typically hard to trace back their family line. At least with this particular scroll.
There is one more thing now that I think about it. It said that Grunch was impaled on mountains. Does it say what mountain that is, or what area?
No.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So I assume you get your information.
Yep.
You are still in the library, but going through that celestial, with you being as rusty as you were, I'd say that took most of the day, plus your travel time to the Inkwell. So you still have days 2 and 3. Is there anything in particular you'd like to cover?
For one of the day, the last day will be recuperation.
Okay.
The second day, I would like to find some platinum dragon stuff to do, is what I wrote down. So like finding a church, maybe conducting a wedding or two, which I think would be funny as hell. Seeing if there's any just general worship.
Let me just check the calendar here. So you're taking your 3rd day to rest, correct?
Yes.
Unfortunately, due to where it is in the week, there doesn't appear to be any worship of Bahamut.
Okay.
As you, as a paladin of Bahamut, would know, that worship of Bahamut typically occurs on the 2nd day of the week, known as Bamus.
Yes.
Named for him, as it is his day. There is some statues and some temples. You go around, you are able to chat with a number of people in regards to their belief in the Platinum Dragon. Several tell you that it gives them the strength to stand up against what they believe to be injustices. Others look to the dragon as a protector. A number of individuals are actually sailors on a trip, visiting some family, and mentioned that where they're from, Bahamut is often prayed to for good winds.
Absolutely.
So, where you picked up Bahamut for your particular reasons of worship, you learn rather quickly that there's different reasons to worship this particular god. It's quite enlightening.
I would like to make at the largest place of worship that I can find, I would like to make a 60 gold donation.
Okay. The elderly cleric very, very much welcomes it. And actually, hilariously, the largest place of worship, Alastair, is in I opened the wrong thing. Is in the Velvet Passage. It's a rather large temple, and once you make the donation, you notice him pull out a particularly small piece of parchment and write down 60 gold pieces and gives it to you. This is a tax receipt.
I don't understand. I know how.
It's when the state comes to collect a portion of your earnings, you simply hand them a document that you have some particular coin counter create for you that excuses a certain amount of your earnings from being accounted for in what you must pay for taxes, and anything given to a place of worship, of course, would be exempt.
Oh. heard of this before. I mean, I've never really had a place of residence. How much taxes?
That would depend on the area of the city. I myself am exempt completely.
For the church status.
Exactly, yes. So I'm not entirely sure.
You may not be the person to ask, but
I would say no.
between men of the cloth, where do you, in your wisdom, think that a band of mercenaries would be able to find affordable housing?
Affordable? Ashtown?
Okay.
He's kind of looking worried at you.
Well, I mean, we can take care of ourselves. Like, I really don't think gold is a problem for us.
Then the scepters.
Okay, I appreciate it. I will do some research.
All right.
Thank you very much.
You're most welcome. Does that conclude your second day, Alastair?
Yes.
Okay. So, in the first day, Alastair does some research. In the second day, Alastair goes on a holy journey. And on the third day, Alastair rests. Mo.
Yes.
What would you like to do for your 3 days of downtime?
First day, I'd like to go and find myself a blank spellbook, I guess. Would
Okay.
be the proper term.
Okay. You remember, as you grew up in the city, you make note that the place to purchase things like that would definitely be in the Coin Kisser Pass.
Mm-hmm.
However, Mo, on your way there, you're stopped by a rather tall for a dwarf, dwarven man, and he kind of looks you up and down. Goes, I think you've been requested for a family reunion, sir.
The king or the queen?
He kind of smiles and goes, you know.
Very well. Was that an immediate request?
I wouldn't keep her waiting.
All right. I'll thank the man and make my way to the High Palace.
You're sitting here like, God damn it, Tanner. Don't worry.
Everything has a plan.
You take your time walking through the city. You slow down slightly near the site where your family home once was, and as you find yourself at the High Palace, you're let in. At this point, they've kind of figured out who you are.
Yeah.
Word has gotten around. And you're met with Gara. She kind of looks you up and down. Goes, your brother-in-law is speaking very highly of you. Just make that very clear.
It's good to know that some places you're appreciated.
Regardless, she turns, just starts walking, and she leads you into the throne room, and then goes behind the throne and pulls back a curtain. Goes, you'll find her in here.
Thank her and make my way through.
As you go behind the curtain, instead of being met with a room, you're met with a spiral set of stairs. And you head up the stairs, and they travel for quite a bit. It's actually quite the trek upwards. And eventually you're met with a landing and a very well-made oak door.
I will knock.
Come in.
Open the door.
Opening it up, you're greeted with a quite a library, actually. A beautiful circular library. There's several plush red chairs sitting in the room. You notice there's a rather small but very elegant fireplace, as well as there's actually quite a sizable minibar. Just a wonderful spread of different bottles and shapes. It's really quite cozy. And you see your sister sitting in a chair. She goes, please sit.
I'll sit down.
There's an awkward silence. So, what, she's kind of stumbling over words, and she goes, Rodrin mentioned that you spent years in the gladiator pits. And then, you were here. I'm just curious of what happened in between to lead you back.
Spent most of my time in the pits, and unbeknownst to me, he let me out. Not 100% sure that I was truly who I am. I ended up in Briar Glen. I don't remember much of that journey. It was a bit of a culture shock, you know. One day you're let out, and
I understand.
I met a few people in the local tavern, some of which you've met, and over time I met more, and we went to Ashbourne, we went to Redwater. We got more and more immersed with the flock and their evils. We were trying to go to Swordbreak. We inadvertently were present for a person being infected with a magical disease, let's say. And
I've been informed of the slads in Ashbourne.
We were able to prevent that. And then we were reacquainted with an individual we had met before, and he asked us to help a sick old woman, you know. Thought we'd do some good for a change. And the woman turns out to be a wife of a criminal locked up in the Havelair stronghold who desires lichdom. So we ran away, ended up here, and we learned some more secrets.
Mo, that's what you go by, correct?
Yeah.
I asked Eva, do you remember Eva at all?
That's that elf woman,
Yes.
right?
I asked her about her encounter with you, and she mentioned that you used fire to kill a lot of snakes on a road. Yes. The reason I ask about your travels between the pits to here is I didn't particularly hear you mention anywhere of formal magical training. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'll take the projection out. I assume there's like a coffee table or something.
Yep,
This
a
is
small little ottoman. Yeah. She kind of.
After I reached Briar Glen, we ended up on a silly little adventure, and I found this. And
Mo, maybe I'm not making myself clear. I don't need to know how you do magic. I'm just simply saying that I believe that perhaps our family is attuned to it, and would like to know if you'd like me to show you some spells.
that'd be nice. I'd appreciate that.
And Mo, at this point, as the first person to multi-class, you can have your wizard's book, and this is where you learn your first wizard spells from your sister. And this will take most of the day.
Yeah.
Just for the sake of this, not punishing you for multi-classing, but
no.
gotta explain that somehow. So we're gonna do
the
that.
only small other thing I want to do, and I think this shouldn't be a problem.
Yep.
Is the one spell, because IRL lives are punishing right now, and I haven't decided on all of my spells, but the one I have is Find Familiar, and I would like to gather the necessary things to start that for the first time. If I can squeeze that in on the first day, that's cool. If not, that'll be my first thing on day 2.
Well done. It's very rare that you guys... It has happened, but it's rare that you surprised me that much. And I was not ready for that. Well done. Okay. I'm going to say...
No camera.
I'm going to say, for the sake of this, that will be a second day thing.
Okay.
And we will do that. I'll say that you're able to obtain that particular set of reagents relatively easily. You will have to take 10 gold pieces out of your gold, because this is listed.
Yeah.
So, Mo, your options are bat, cat, crab, frog, a toad, hawk, lizard, octopus, owl, poisonous snake, fish, rat, raven, seahorse, spider, or weasel.
Raven. I think that was obvious.
Yeah, I just came across that reading it. Yes.
Yeah.
You
I've not decided on a name for said creature, but
you're able to summon a raven.
Before we just to finish day 1, just to get everything, so I'm not jumping between days.
Of course.
Once we've finished up all this, this magic talk.
Mhm.
Now that that's concluded for now, I don't want to end up being the family member that asks you for handouts. I'm not in any way envious of your position.
Right.
You are blessed with not having the burden of knowing. And I know that not knowing is equally as much a curse, but knowing where you are now is a lot better than the things that I had dreamt. But we find ourselves in the predicament in which, although we do like the nomadic life, I think it would be healthier for us to have a place to call home. And as it seems that we're going to be doing lots of work for your husband because the world is full of problems.
Mo,
Yes.
are you asking for a home?
Yes.
Let me talk with Rod. Property is difficult.
Complicated?
Very complicated. Not my forte. I like my books and I like my my reading. But I will chat with him. And see what we can figure out. We might be able to have something ready for you by the time you return from Rivermouth, I believe is where I'm to send you.
Wait. You.
Yes.
He said he didn't specify a person, which is totally within his power, but he left that detail out. That devil.
He mentioned it might be best if we kept it quiet.
Mm-hmm.
But once you're back, she kind of looks at you. She goes, "I'm sure we can find a place to keep our eyes on you."
All right. You're familiar with I can't I'm sorry, DM. I cannot remember Ashbourne, sorry. I
No,
had
no
a
worries.
brain
No
meltdown.
worries. It happens. Trust me. It happens.
How familiar are you with Ashbourne?
I'm not.
They grow a certain type of fruit there.
I'm familiar with the Relics, yes.
So you know what it does.
Yes.
I think the word is pleasure. It's hard to tell with something like that. I ate it. I'm sure you know what that would mean for us.
Mo, I appreciate what you're trying to do. But I have no memory of my biological father and mother, our parents. And I don't think I'm quite ready to face that yet.
All right.
As lovely as this visit has been, Mo, Rod has been taking care of Tobin for most of the day, and I'm sure he has things to do. So I have to go be a mother. If you,
All right.
I'm sure Gara will escort you out as peacefully as she can.
All right. Good night.
Good night. And she heads out before you do. So that's your first day. Your second day, you work upon getting Find Familiar and all that stuff, I assume?
Yeah, Find Familiar.
Okay.
And I'll spend it on two main things.
Okay.
The first is getting that Find Familiar working.
Right.
And intermittently, while I'm spending time writing down the spells that I have not decided yet,
Right.
I'm just gonna spend time with the Raven and just explore the city through its eyes and like
Getting acquainted with it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, for sure.
And getting acquainted with how my familiar works.
Yes, of course. And now that will be your second day.
Yeah.
Anything particular your third day?
Third day, just, relax and get ready for our journey.
Okay, stock up on supplies and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, easy enough. Quirin.
Alrighty. First and foremost, I will look for a place for get gems, diamonds.
Get diamonds. Yep.
Diamond dust, yeah.
Yep, for sure. You're able to find a diamond shop. A gem shop, a jeweler's. Hilariously, it takes you. I'd say it takes you probably a good 2-3 hours. In the morning, kind of wandering around the city as you kind of have an idea how this works. You head to Coin Kisser, and then you kind of snake through the cobbles. Eventually, you do come to the Velvet Passage and find a rather nice jewelry / gem shop. What are you looking to purchase in particular, and how much?
$200 or $300 in diamond dust.
$300.
Yes, or 300 gold pieces. Sorry. Fuck.
Yeah. Yep. That's easy enough. They have that.
And 2 diamonds. One worth 500,
Okay.
and the other one worth.
Is it 350?
Yeah.
Yeah. Revivify, right?
Yep.
Yep. So yeah, you're able to, they have all of that. You deal with a rather kind of sleazy looking half elf gentleman. Black hair, like pulled back. So pulled back that it almost looks like it's painted on his head. And he kind of looks at you suavely and goes, well, if you do come across any gems you wish to sell, please don't hesitate.
Currently I only have 5 garnet and 2 emeralds.
Let me take a look.
Put them on the counter.
Okay. If I recall the garnet, where did you get those garnets? I'm trying to recall.
The garnet's somewhere in the bag and somewhere from something else. You didn't give me a price on those?
Did we collect all the gems that Zane poofed out?
That's kind of what I was thinking.
You did, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
Right, okay, so Zane has those.
Yep, and the 2 emeralds are worth 100 gold pieces each.
Right, so that's what the emeralds are appraised for. I was just wondering if the garnets had had given you an appraisal price.
No.
No, they're 25 each.
25, okay.
So he offers to purchase them.
Yep.
So you can add, what's that, 325 gold back.
Yep. Yep.
All right. At this point, it's about 11 in the morning. Yep, for sure.
Ooh, that was expensive. Alrighty. And then I'm going to go and meet up for lunch.
All right. So you're heading to The Beauty is in the Eye?
Yep.
Okay.
Gate with a beholder.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. All right. So you make your way to the very nestled in shop in the Coin Kisser Pass. You enter into the store. It's as you left it, and eventually you hear from the back, yes, just 1 second. And Androx comes floating out. He goes, oh, yes. Hello. Yes. I suppose you need a seat.
If you would like to give me one.
A chair just kind of slides next to the counter.
Thank you.
Yes. So I have pastries. And for me, I have a rat.
Ooh.
So, yes. If you wish to look away, I understand.
I have watched Goliaths eat it, no problem.
Rat's gone.
Interesting.
Just like vacuum cleaner, like you hear the rat break in half as it goes between the jaws. It's actually kind of unsettling. Oh.
I'm gonna leave my pack and everything off to the side.
You see like 3 of the eyes on the stalks kind of turn and just kind of keep their gaze on it. It's like, so,
I know this is kind of strange.
I would say I'm fairly acquainted with strange.
I got the impression that me and you are of similar kind.
You see the big eye kind of squint.
Just let me explain.
Okay.
I've spent my entire childhood sick, tired, and afraid. And if I had an option, I would not have left that place. I would have not have gone out into the world. I would not be doing what I am doing now. I am horrified that I am going to die at every point in time. You have lived a life far longer than I, and in a place that is homey.
Yeah.
So I simply wanted to chat and try to understand what it takes to stay alive.
Okay. All right. Interesting. So it's not exactly a secret. It's kind of common knowledge. About, I think it was over 3 centuries ago. The years end up blending together after your first millennia. My lair seemed to be experiencing a number of vibrations, which is not uncommon as creatures would travel above me, but they became more and more consistent. And as I came out to peek, I noticed that pink squishy things had made their home here. So I slept on it, as I do, and determined my best course of action was, instead of resisting change, instead of going against the current, to just bend like a reed in the wind. And it's served me well. I find providing magic items to those that have the ability to end my existence makes them friendly, and has kept me safe. And ultimately, if there is any of my kind out there, us creatures are very territorial. By supplying those who are able to kill me with items necessary to do so, they go out and kill the ones they are not ingratiated to. So, if you're looking to survive, to stay alive and live, I'd say your best course of action would be to go with the flow.
That makes a lot of sense, but it comes back to something that I've been thinking of quite a lot.
Is it bread?
A little bit.
Terrifying stuff. I'm scared I'm gonna choke on it. I don't eat bread.
It would be good to eat it more. I'm not good with my health, and it's something that is coming into play more and more with more things we face. My friends become stronger and more hearty as the days go on, and for me, it does not change. And I fear that will end my life sooner than I mean to.
Well, I'd suggest, and please take this with a grain of salt, as someone who does not leave. If you find yourself around people that continuously get stronger and are able to complete more and more difficult tasks, I'd say those are people to surround yourself with. And then, as you said, your life won't end sooner than you mean to. It will end exactly when you need it to, or want it to.
Food for thought.
Ah, yes, wordplay. That's one I haven't quite grasped yet, but
It's something new to me as well. It's difficult to get around. I've got sarcasm though. Sarcasm is really good.
See, I tried the sarcasm, but I had this dream where I said something sarcastic to a man with a big sword, and so sarcasm's a no-go.
See, the big sword probably not, but someone like me probably better off for you.
Sure.
I have never swung anything in my life other than spiritual stuff, and yeah, no.
Okay, just between scared people here, swinging spiritual stuff, still fucking terrifying.
It is, but does not stop things from taking my face.
I feel as if there's a story there that I don't want to know.
Tapping the seam. Yeah, no.
Oh. That's not supposed to happen.
No.
Oh. Huh.
I have actually really enjoyed this.
I'm still very confused.
That is fair. If you like, I can come back tomorrow and try to clear the air a bit more.
Oh no, there's no air to clear. Just social isn't exactly common for something with 11 eyes.
Fair.
So, I do have to get back to sleeping to make more stuff.
Of course.
So, I do appreciate the visit.
Oh, of course. If you dream up of a better armor set, I may buy it. I don't know how much your stuff normally costs.
It depends how much I dream that you pay for it.
Fair.
Or someone pays for it.
I'll be back.
I hope that's meant with less malice than I took it.
Oh, great less malice, yes.
Ah, good. Okay. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Have a good sleep.
And he just kind of, that's the sound a beholder makes when it moves, apparently. Just kind of floats to the back. This point, it's about 1, 2 in the afternoon, Quern, on your first day.
I'm gonna look for a bakery shop that does more than just pastries. Just more than donuts, like an actual, bakery.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Make an investigation check for me. Excuse me.
14.
14. Let me just quickly look at my notes.
2 14s in a row.
It's impressive. Let's see here. Where is it? Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, God, I hate myself. Okay. Yeah, you find a bakery. It's not very well marked. But what you do see as you're walking by is one of those sandwich signs that says the earliest open bakery in Dragontail. And as you turn to look at the store, you notice the sign says Awake and Bake.
Awful. I'm gonna go inside.
Okay. It's a bakery.
Can I get the attention of somebody at the counter?
Yeah, it's a fairly well taken care of store. What are you looking to purchase?
I'm not looking to purchase.
Okay, all right. Yeah, the proprietor here is a dwarven male. Kind of salt and pepper hair, Tom Selleck mustache, with Tom Selleck mustache plus the slinger from Smash Mouth's little soul patch thingy.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. It must have been a wake and bake when I wrote this.
Oh yeah.
Fuck. He kind of looks and goes, "Hey, can I help you?"
Yes. Me and my friends are looking to kind of live in the city a bit more. I was
Aye.
wondering if I could come here for training to become a baker.
I suppose, yeah, if you're looking for a job.
My hours may be kind of weird. I am a mercenary by trade, and I'm kind of everywhere.
Well, yeah, I suppose so. When were you thinking of starting?
Can I know?
I suppose.
The armor doesn't really come off.
All right. Well, we don't have to worry about burns. And I assume you're going to spend the next 3 days learning to bake.
And going back and talking to the beholder. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Write down that you're proficient with baking.
Okay.
Anytime you're cooking something, we're going to make a check, and you're going to be able to add your proficiency bonus to that now. In terms of talking with the beholder, for the sake of brevity, is there anything in particular you wish to cover in those conversations?
No, just talking about his life, talking about what I've been through, talking about the fear, blah, 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 blah.
Okay. Yeah, for the most part, it's just kind of two kindred souls talking.
Yep.
The one thing, and this is more of a point of interest that Quarian, you'll probably come to the realization of later as a character, but player, you're going to realize what this means now. Androx mentions his first instance of real fear was when he was brought into the world, and his entering into this plane of existence woke up the beholder that dreamt him in, and it chased him out of the cave.
All right. Yep.
Just a side note, Zaz, for that particular gif, I'm giving you inspiration. No, stop. All right, anywho. Is there anything else from you, Query?
Nope.
All right, speaking of Zaz, and
Hi.
Spoolie, I feel bad for you right at the end there. Zaz, you got 3 days. What are you doing?
All right.
Oh, fuck.
What? I haven't had time to sit and think about this.
I know, that's the worst fucking part.
So, day one.
Oh, Jesus.
First and foremost, I'm going to speak to the, I guess the owner or the person who runs the area that we're staying in.
The Triple G?
Goblin.
Yeah.
Just speak to them and see if they recommend a place that I can go for armaments.
For armaments.
Mm-hmm.
Just check my notes here. Sorry, I've got two mice going on here, so this is you ask for the owner. You've got a high enough passive perception. You hear one of the goblins that you ask to fetch the owner. You hear him go to the back, and you hear what sounds like a "No, you do it. No, I don't want to be the no, you, no. Well, maybe we'll get X to do. No, just kind of a trying to figure out who the hell to send out to talk to you. And eventually, a goblin comes in and goes, "Yeah, hi. Told you had a question for me."
Yep. I am looking for two separate kind of like situations where I need to get armor and weapons. Where could I go?
What kind of weapon in particular?
For myself, depends on what they have available. However, for the second instance that I spoke of prior, I need a lot of weapons. The better you have, I'll pay top dollar. Or sorry, top coin.
Well, I'm not a I'm not exactly a combatant myself, but two do come to mind. There is one over in the Coin Kisser row there. I believe it's called Flux Deluxe. And if you head over to Ashtown, I actually think there's a goblin one run over there called Or Else.
Or else.
Yes, O-R-E else.
Yes, the letter else. Okay, okay, that'll be good enough. Thank you very much. And I'll toss him a silver for his time.
All right, thank you. I appreciate your patronage. All right.
So I'm gonna leave for Or Else first, and then I'll go to the second place following.
Okay. So they're on two opposite sides of the city. You head to Or Else, and as you excuse me, as you head through Host Row, eventually the tight-knit kind of middle of the road houses give way to what could be considered slums as you enter Ashtown. Dirty, kind of grimy, and it's pretty easy to find Or Else just from the smoke. And you come across a rather iffy looking blacksmith run by a number of goblins. Yes. Yeah, can I help you?
Hey there. Oh, sorry, that's not really in character, sorry.
Hi! You're enthusiastic.
Surprisingly.
Oh.
Hello. I was told that you would be an establishment to check out for some weapons. Possibly armor?
Weapons for sure. Armor on occasion. What are you looking for?
Well, what do you supply? Are you more quantity or quality?
Kind of looks behind him, and you see what appears to be a younger goblin just hammering away like as fast as possible. And just, based on what you're able to see behind me, I'm gonna say quantity.
Okay. Do you have any kind of like strong suits, or do you mainly just make
daggers?
Daggers.
Also, we do have a deal on dirks right now. They're kind of like a dagger, a little bit shorter, and they're called that because that's the sound people make when you stab them. Dirk. Yeah.
What a salesman, this guy. How much would it cost for me to get, say, 20 daggers?
If you don't mind me asking, what do you need 20 daggers for?
If you believe this, I'm actually trying to start a small war party with a series of gnolls in a neighboring area, and I need to make sure that they're properly outfitted for my possible plan.
I believe you. Daggers, we're usually charging 2 gold pieces each. So
for 20, that'd be 40 total.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to put a little note on this. I'm going to confirm how many I do need, but okay, 2 gold. I'll keep in touch here within the next probably day or so.
All right.
Would you recommend any kind of armor for a smaller being, such as, say, gnoll height?
Smaller being?
Well,
no. What gnolls are you talking about?
I'm 6, like something, like my character is. Aren't gnolls like 4 foot?
The gnolls that you met, yes. Gnolls that people typically think of, no. Just make it clear, the gnolls that you encountered were gutter gnolls, runt gnolls,
okay,
gnolls.
Wee Bobby gnolls.
Yes.
Okay. Pocket
little ones. I'd go with something like just leather. To be honest with you, no point, especially that quantity. No point doing ring mail or scale or plate.
Oh, definitely not. That's too loud.
You scare me, says the DM in a goblin voice.
You're an agent of chaos, Jordan.
So you'd recommend leather? Would you supply leather armor or what have you?
I'm not a leather guy myself. Though surprisingly, leather armor you can find at probably most general stores.
Okay, but
Just
for
due
any
to the
kind of,
fact.
like, buying,
Go ahead.
for any kind of like buying bulk, I should be okay just going to one location.
Typically, Dragontail here sees a lot of in and out traffic, and these days with the orcs kind of collapsing in on people, even the most mild-mannered of travelers are getting a little bit of armor on themselves. So I think everyone should be pretty stocked up.
Okay. One final thing. I need to get a message sent. Pretty good ways. You guys. Sorry, you guys. This
What do you mean, you guys?
Oh,
No, I don't. We're gonna skip over that.
mm-mm.
Do you have any means of long distance messaging, like pigeon, perhaps? Anything of the sort? I need to send word.
Where you need to go,
Where are my nulls again, DM?
Ashbourne.
Ashbourne. Around Ashbourne.
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 What do you need it? What do you need them to know?
I'm hoping to send and receive a message. I need to see exactly what my headcount is looking like.
How long do you got?
For time?
Yeah.
I'm willing to pay top dollar for the least amount of time if I can.
I can have the message there tomorrow, and I can have a response by later that evening.
How much is that going to entail?
300 gold?
Here's a platinum.
Okay. That's nice. I'm gonna need 29 more of these.
Mm-hmm. This is a deposit, I think. Do you guys not have that here?
Typically, it's half.
Fair enough. I'll just give him the half.
Kind of takes. He goes, "All right, follow me."
Hmm.
He kind of leads you around back behind the smith, and he kind of opens up almost like a cellar door and says, "All right, go on downstairs there."
I've seen this porn before. Okay. I'm gonna. Can I roll perception to see if I notice anything that would be seeming like jarring or out of?
I'm gonna say you can roll a perception or insight.
I'm gonna roll a perception.
Okay, yeah.
Oh wait, it's 7 now. 16.
Appears to be a cellar.
I'm gonna roll that insight real quick too while I'm at it.
Okay.
Also 16.
He looks nervous, but not malicious.
And he's just kind of like in the doorway.
He's like, it's one of those like, you know, in like the old movies, like, "Get to the cellar, Jimmy," and they fucking, I don't know why that turned into Carl. "Get to the cellar, Jimmy." He just I don't know where that came from either. It's one of those like folding doors. It's kind of like almost on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
He's just kind of holding it open for you.
I'll go.
All right. You head on down, and you hear like small like tiny voices. Like just like really high, like
Okay.
He leads you around the corner.
Mhm.
And 1 second here, just so I can get this correct. What you see is around what would be considered like, I guess like a footstool, sitting cross-legged on the ground, is like a bunch of tiny blue. They look like tiny blue elves.
Mhm.
And they kind of look up, and you notice that they're all holding like very tiny playing cards. What? The goblin kind of looks and goes, "You guys want to earn your keep? I got a job for one of you." They all kind of look around. 1 second. You see something, and Zaz, you notice that they're pulling straws. And you notice one go, "Ah, God, fuck it." Kind of hops up to you and goes, "What do you want?"
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
Okay. Hi. I need to get a message to and from Ashbourne.
Okay.
Will you do that for me?
I guess so.
Like, I know you got the short straw, but I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I mean, do you pay him? Do I pay him? What are we doing? I'm talking to like the goblin who let me in.
Goblin kind of leans over and goes, I don't even really know what these things are. They just kind of appeared one day. Said they're very confused where they're at. Told them they can stay in my basement, but they got to earn their keep. So you're paying me, and I'm letting them live here. Think of it as rent.
Okay. So I'm gonna look at the what is it called again? What is it?
Make an Arcana check.
Ooh, Arcana. That's 3.
You have no fucking idea.
Can I roll an
It's
nature check?
it's like, yeah, you can roll. Roll a nature check.
17?
I'll just fucking give it to you. It's a quickling.
Oh.
It looks like a whole little gaggle of quicklings, which is a rare breed of brownies. They're tiny little fake creatures.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna look down to the quickling that's in front of me here and just gonna pass along the message that, or just instruct them. I'll just say it. So you're gonna go to Ashbourne.
Right.
You're gonna find in the outer skirts of Ashbourne, outside of the greater city, is a heavily forested area. From
Right.
there, you'll find a group of gnolls.
Okay.
Tell them Zaz sends
Right.
a message
That's
asking for how many there are,
how many there are.
and to start meeting me, like head towards Dragontail.
Head towards Dragontail. How many are you? From Zaz. Head towards Dragontail.
Yep.
Right.
And then once you find out the information and they start moving, return.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's pretty well it.
Gone.
Oh shit.
Like, just flash of blue, thing gone.
Oh no, it's a speedster.
Yeah, it's a quickling. They're quick. It's in the name.
All right. So little guy's gone.
Right?
How much am I taking off of my gold, real quick, just so I can keep up on that?
300 for that.
Okay.
Or sorry, well, that was one. You paid 150. You're gonna pay another 150 upon completion.
Okay.
What's the agreement?
Okay, got that. I guess we're done with that. Will the guy lead me out, or like we're pretty much out of that
Yeah,
room?
he leads you out and says, "All right, come on back here tomorrow night. Probably be back by then."
Could you actually send me someone when
Where
when
you
I
at?
return? I'm at Goblin, and Goblin.
All right, I like it. Will do.
All right, till then.
Bye bye.
And then I'm gonna head over for that other place. I'm assuming there's
Other
Is there
side
any
of
kind of,
town.
yeah. Is there any kind of like cart or anything, or can I just like book it in my chair?
Yeah, you can take your fucking chair.
Can my chair run like gallop?
Your chair can take the dash action. Yeah.
Awesome. We're gonna dash across town. Oh, but I want to cast whatchamacall? Pass without a trace.
For years, there will be stories told of people of this rare half chair, half elven cryptid that haunts the streets of Dragontail.
If you ever hear the sound of a galloping chair in the back alley, run.
Yeah. You're able to find Flux Deluxe relatively easily.
Cool.
It's a lot nicer, rather clean. And when you head in, there's actually a minotaur doing the blacksmithing.
Hmm.
He kind of turns and goes, "What can I help you with?"
Hi, I have some business to do.
I'd assume so, yeah.
Here's my situation. I have a lot of equipment that I don't need, and I'm looking to exchange that for something I can use.
Okay.
So I'm gonna drop down my +1 flail, my +1 scimitar, my +1 warhammer, my staff of charming, and that's it for now. Just kind of like on the counter.
Tar, split on Warhammer. Staff of Charming.
Mhm.
Kind of goes, "It's quite the armory."
Yeah, I can't use half of these things. It's not really my thing. The staff is,
Alright.
I might keep that. It just depends on what you have.
All right. What are you looking for?
I'm looking for armor and something to help with spell casting, if you could.
Something to help with spell casting.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a moment.
In the meantime,
Seven.
as well, DM.
Go ahead. Yes.
This is something I've been kind of wondering. There's not really any like major restrictions for me being a druid with my armor. Like I can have metal if I want. It's just a lot of like traditionally druids didn't, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I can just.
Well, it
okay,
depends on your armor proficiencies.
Yeah. Also,
Mhm.
with you being Circle of Spores, it may have another restriction on it. Like my Grave
think
Cleric
so.
can't wear heavy armor, like plate.
Okay. Because I'm currently good for medium, so that can actually get me something that'll help me out with my AC.
You can go
Good
for
for
scale
medium.
mail.
I go scale.
Isn't
Okay.
scale heavy?
Nope.
I thought scale was heavy armor.
Scale is medium armor because I convert.
Yeah, scale is medium. I just looked that up. Just looking something up here.
Yeah.
He kind of comes back and goes, well, you kind of caught me on an off day here. Exactly what type of magic are we talking about?
I kind of have a nature thing going about.
Okay.
So any kind of anything you can do with that?
Nature. Kind of scratches his kind of proverbial beard and goes, Why don't you give me a day? I got someone coming with a crate of stuff there from the south. Should be here this evening. Might be able to help you out. In terms of armor, are you just looking for something better or
Better.
okay? We can kind of looks you over. He goes, we can do scale mail.
I can do scale. Okay.
All right. Just one sec here.
Mhm.
Just making sure before I just give it to you and such.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it is medium.
It does give you disadvantage on sneak checks.
Yes,
stealth.
that's why I was checking.
Sneak?
On stealth, yeah.
Stealth
How much of a disadvantage?
disadvantage.
Oh, just generally disadvantage?
Yeah, because you clink clank.
Fair. I don't want to clank. What's the is all medium armor like gonna screw up my stealth?
I think. Let's see here. Just double checking here for medium.
Yeah, no problem.
Seeing what we can offer you. Medium. No. So you can get hide, chain, or just a regular breastplate. They don't impose disadvantage.
A breastplate doesn't impose disadvantage?
No.
Hi.
What is your armor class currently?
Currently 16.
So a breastplate would not be an increase. The only thing that would be an increase is like half plate, and it would only be by 1.
What about breastplate?
That's 14 plus your dex modifier up to a maximum of +2. So it'll be a 16.
Okay, because then wouldn't that also go into my ring of protection for increased AC?
Oh yes, yeah. So that would be on top as well.
Cool. Let's go for a breastplate.
All right. Kind of looks and goes, all right, breastplates are 410 gold pieces.
Okay.
So I do the warhammer and the flail.
Nothing on the scimitar?
Currently, gonna level with you. Looking for quantity of metal.
Fair enough. So, factoring in the warhammer and the flail, what's the total we're looking at?
I'd probably do an even trade on that.
And you said you had someone coming in tomorrow for new stuff?
Yeah, he said he had some kind of cache that he had found.
Okay. All right, let's postpone this until tomorrow. If you can give me a heads up when your person comes in.
Yep.
Cool.
Well, just come on by tomorrow. He should be here tonight, so.
Oh, okay, perfect. All right, see you tomorrow.
All right. Is there anything else you want to do on your first day?
I'm gonna go back to the goblin, the 3Gs,
Okay.
and then I'm gonna go some of my pet and see if I can toss them around the cesspool or whatever they have for like irrigation.
Okay, yeah, you find a sewer relatively easy.
Yep.
Sploosh.
Just gonna kind of nudge him in there and just
Yeah. Yeah. He's happier than a gelatinous cube and shit.
cool.
Yeah,
That's pretty
so
much for like my first day.
okay. Second day.
Mhm.
Are you headed back to the where are you headed first?
The place that I was at last, the first day, the
Okay.
Minister guy.
All right. Let me just quickly take a look here. Yeah, okay. So, as you enter in, Mentor goes, man, your word. I like it. I got good news and bad news.
Mhm.
Good news, I do have a weapon that might fit your needs.
Okay.
Bad news, it's pricey.
Okay.
He pulls out a longsword.
Mhm.
And it looks relatively normal until he takes it out of the sheath and you notice that it's transparent like glass. He goes, kind of swings it around and makes like a whoom, whoom, whoom. So, yeah, this, we did a test here, and this thing, besides being sharp as hell, burns. Unfortunately, that's really all we got in for weapons. A lot of the stuff he brought back was junk and trinkets. So,
Junk as an inferior quality, or junk like?
junk as in it went into the forge.
Yeah, fair. Okay, well, let's wrap this all up. Let's see how much we can do for everything. Because you were doing the exchange and then buying this. What's the bottom line?
So at this point, you still have the scimitar and the staff.
Yep.
Okay.
I still have all of them, like the warhammer, scimitar, flail. I figured.
Oh,
I'd
you
took
want?
all of it.
Okay.
Yeah, I do it now.
Okay. So
with them taking the it would still have the scimitar and the staff of charming.
yeah. So the flail and the warhammer would be a 2-for-1 for the breastplate.
Okay.
Staff. Do a bit of quick math here. Okay, and then
This was just a breastplate, just a regular old.
yeah,
breastplate?
just regular breastplate. He goes, all right. With the scimitar and the staff here, I'd be willing to part with the sword for those two and 1,100 gold.
Okay, I'll do it.
All right. So, at this point, I will need to make an item card for you. You can add your breastplate. What you have is called a crystal sword. It's a long sword, obviously.
Yep.
And it will deal a extra 2d6 radiant damage on hit. And acts as a spellcasting focus.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. I assume you kind of go about the town. Anything else during your second day?
There wasn't really anyone else of like interest for Zaz in this area, is there?
Not that I can think of now.
No. Yeah, I'll just return back to the goblin and wait to hear from the first place.
Interestingly enough, when you get back up to your room, it's waiting for you.
Oh.
Kind of looks at you. He goes, 8 and okay.
Okay, thank you.
Holds out his hands.
Oh, right. Tells him the rest.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Gone. All right, that's your second day. Anything on your third day?
Gonna go back to the goblin. Gonna go buy 8 dirks.
8 dirks? Okay, yeah, it's the same price.
Yeah.
So that's 16 gold.
Okay. Totally take off 16 gold. As well, I'm gonna buy 8 pieces of leather armor.
Yeah, you're able to find a general store, and that's going to be 12 gold for those 8.
Perfect.
All right.
I wouldn't have an idea when to expect my gnolls to show up, would I?
No.
Fun. Okay. Retreat back to my place, or back to the goblin.
Okay.
Day 3, I'm gonna go back to where I bought the dirks.
Yep.
I'm gonna ask if they're able to prep them for, I guess, my guests, my gnolls.
Okay.
Yeah. So when they arrive, outfit them
Okay.
and wait for my command.
All right, can do.
Cool.
All
Does
right.
that cost anything?
What's that, sorry?
Does that cost anything to have them like?
No. It says it's pretty easy. It looks like he's got a couple apprentices that he just kind of assigns to it.
Okay, cool. Then
All right.
that'll be it.
Okay. And finally, Zane.
Man, I'm gonna be really simple. All Zane wants to do is read books, relax, and write a letter to his parents.
Hey, you know what? That's fine. Let's make it interesting though. What books are you reading?
I don't know.
Smart.
Well, I'm just saying, you do have books on your person. You have the book about demons and devils that your sister ultimately was going to give you. You have a manual of flesh shaping from a very long time ago.
I guess he'll read all of the above.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Zane, and make a investigation check.
Okay. 22.
Shit. Okay. In that letter to your parents, is there anything in particular?
Just to let them know that they're that I'm safe and in Dragon Tail, and just want to make sure that they're okay.
Okay. Before I cover what you find in that book, is there anything else you want to spend your downtime on?
Kind of just relaxing and breathing for once.
Okay. So reading the book about demons and devils and the blood war and all that, you find yourself flipping to kind of not exactly a glossary, but almost like a speculation section of different bits of interesting facts that have been discovered or speculated about demons in particular.
Mm-hmm.
And you come to a section where a word catches your eye, and that word is Oberith. You remember a while ago when you were heading between Ashbourne and to the docks, you encountered something that you identified as an Oberith, and you're like, oh, maybe I should take a read of this. And it talks about how the Oberiths, nobody really understands where they come from or why there is a difference between the regular demons or these Oberiths. And it discusses the fact that during the Dawn War, it seems that all but 12 Oberith lords perished. And it has a list of names of these Oberith lords. They are Asima, Bakard, Kabiri, Dagon, Malgoth, Obex Ob, one known as Pale Knight, Pazuzu, the Queen of Chaos, Ubathar, Ugdank, Surtreos, and Vrothkun.
Oof.
Is there anything else you'd like to do with your time off?
Not really.
All right. So, the end of the third day, we're going to take a break. Pitter patter, right back at her. So, on the evening of the third day, you all find yourselves sitting in the tavern area of the Triple G, at a table, having your dinner. Is there anything you guys would like to discuss before your travel?
Oh, did the Beholder come up with any new armor?
Not at the moment. He mentioned that he was having a hard time really imagining something that would prevent what you were describing.
Okay.
But be aware, with spending so much time with him, you're at the forefront of his mind right now.
Huh.
So all I'm saying, Zane, is I'm not sure how a wizard could turn himself into a pickle anyway.
It's not the how. And it's the amusement that the amusement comes from the fact that he simply is.
Yes, but what about the one story where him and his little sidekick fucked mermaids? What was that?
I haven't read that one yet.
Yeah, haven't I read that one, but it wasn't a wizard and a sidekick. It was like
Oh no, it was the wizard and his
6
sidekick.
tenors and a horse.
Somebody at your bakery told me.
This is really interesting.
They might have taken that one off the shelves for being too controversial.
I've heard that mermaids are quite the experience.
Why do you always bring everything back to sex? And it's weird enough that you hit on people. Like, men aren't supposed to do that. Women make the first move. Everyone knows.
Oh, honey. Oh, sweetheart. We only have much to learn.
About what? That's what the tribe does. The women are the strongest. They come for the men.
You're not in the... You may be the chieftain of your tribe, but we're in the outside world. Things are different.
Oh, what, sir? I'm supposed to go up to Gara, punch her in the face, and go, "You're mine now." Oh.
Absolutely. She'd very much appreciate that.
I wouldn't punch her in the face, but
I mean, she
I would.
could destroy me.
I'd like to see that.
I'd
Did I say
like
that
to
out
not
loud?
see that.
Are you okay over there, Tanner?
It's times like this, and I think I've mentioned this before, that I'm so glad we're not face to face, because I have gone. You know that scene in Monsters Inc. where Sully's watching what he thinks is Boo being put through the crusher, and he goes through like 1,000 different facial expressions? That's what's happening right here, right now. Like, I have like dragged these hands across my face, up and down and sideways, like 30 times in the last 3.5 minutes. So, is there anything you guys want to complete of note?
Of note.
Also, there's a bird on my shoulder.
Thank you, Jordan.
Yeah, just oh god, what? How did you? You know what? Not even touching it. Yeah, for the most part, have you guys acknowledged the fact that Mo just has a raven on his shoulder?
Not even
now?
remotely.
Yeah, it's just that's Mini Moose. He's been here the whole time, type thing.
Also, just as a side note,
Thank you.
I thought of this as other people were going on, so just kind of like a footnote.
Yep.
Through the Raven's racial ability, I've also been training it to learn sounds that it can mimic, like, you know, just kind of
Yes.
teaching it a cacophony of things.
Okay.
Like, you know, like like people saying like certain things, or like you know, sounds like things falling over, whatever.
Okay,
Just
so-
building up that repertoire.
So, for the sake of making this easy and going forward, if at any point you want your raven to make a sound, and I can test it, saying, I'm not sure if the raven would have heard that, if you can come up with a situation that the raven came across in Dragon Tale where it would have heard that sound, I will allow it.
Okay,
But you will have to justify it if I argue against it. Does that sound fair?
that sounds fair.
Excellent. All right. So, like I said,
Have we thought of like permanent residence?
I've let's just say I talked to my sister about that.
Right, because I learned this really interesting thing. It's terrifying, called taxes, and apparently you get charged money for things you've already paid for.
Gladiators don't pay taxes, I don't think. I never had to pay taxes.
no, taxes pay for gladiators, actually.
So
That's why a lot of people join the clergy. Free taxes.
That was not the case for me.
It's
what do taxes pay for?
roads, maintenance, the guards.
He's 100% correct.
Alright, so you
Quern,
talked to your
it's-
brother.
It's an invention that man came up with that we probably could have done without.
That's why you should have women in charge. Much simpler.
I'm not contesting that, but
Well, come on, they just walk out, break the face of whatever they're facing, come back, and then take them in. What's to argue?
I like the world you're in.
You fucking simp.
So you're going to talk to Big Rod then, and get, and we're going to get.
Sorry, could you guys hear that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because that
What's
hurt.
that?
That was my hand smacking my face as I face palmed.
Oh.
That's fucking shit.
So you're going to talk to Big Rod and secure us housing? Is that what's happening?
She said that she'd look into it while we're going down south.
Alright, so we do that, then come back and talk about housing. When are we leaving?
Whenever we want, because as it turns out, my sister is the one magically teleporting us there.
Oh,
Apparently, she's a wizard or mage of some caliber.
I don't think we should waste any more time. Perhaps we should head out tomorrow.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got through all the couple of days of debauchery that I need to do here.
I'm going to have
Should
to
we
give
pick up
notice
some
to the-
healing potions? That might
That-
be a good idea.
Could be beneficial, judging by work ethic.
Strange
Mhm.
question.
Yeah.
In the roughly 2 days that I've been spending navigating the city with my bird, would I have found a place?
Inkwell
that I-
District.
All right. Always better to go through the DM.
Fair enough. Yeah. No, by all means. Yeah. You saw a place. Looks like actually a rather well-to-do alchemist.
Well, the bird has helped me in finding the. I've reacquainted myself with the city. Let's just say that.
As Mo is talking, Zane attempts to pet the bird.
Make an animal handling check.
Animal handling. Oh, my animal handling's not great. Oh, that one!
Is it really?
Yeah, that
Yeah.
one!
What's your armor class?
14?
22 hits then.
Yeah!
You take 1 point of piercing damage as it pecks you. Hard.
DM, can we establish that we have in fact made a long rest within our last 3 days?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
For sure. Yeah, you get pecked real hard.
Ow!
Sorry, it's new and magical creatures are strange and new to me, and
Right.
it's
It is.
Just-
Out of
Magical.
out of character, I really wish, since this bird is new to Mo, he would have to make the animal handling checks too.
Nope.
Unfortunately,
It's got a mind of its own.
mind familiar. It's kind of tied to him.
Yeah. All right.
I
So,
look at the bird. That was unnecessary. Rich.
no. You're such a cockalaster. No, it's not a parrot.
What?
He turns himself into a pickle.
Bird speaks truth.
Calls himself Pickle Rick. All right.
Mo, have you named that pet? You said it was magical? How's that work?
It's a
He's like-
familiar. I can turn it into different things, although that becomes very costly, and if it dies, it's very costly. I can make it appear, I can make it disappear, I can see through its eyes, I can
Oh.
give it instructions. It's how I've been able to reacquaint myself with the city. It flies around.
Have
it
you
doesn't
named
really
it yet?
need to eat or drink. It just like it exists now, and I snap my fingers, and it stops existing, and then I can bring it back. I snap my fingers again.
Wait, what? This is hard to put into words. Male, female, other? What would we refer to it as?
I hadn't even.
Mo?
Yes.
It's a her.
Oh,
Of course, it's
I
a her.
believe it's female.
I was going to suggest Edward. Okay. So our prime objective is what? We're teleporting somewhere, and
Go and get potions tomorrow. Go to the king, teleport down, and then we are supposed to talk to a Goliath tribe and try to get them to send a representative or something to the outside world.
okay.
How are we supposed to get back, though? Did we ever cover that?
Two
walking.
feet and a heartbeat.
Hmm.
Either that or we can just steal a cart on the way.
Well, it depends.
Oh,
If
those.
they can teleport us with our cart, then that would make it a lot easier.
I'm sure we can buy another card.
We can see tomorrow.
Carts are expensive. Do you remember how many things we had to sell to get that cart?
I do remember us just like leaving it places and forgetting about it, and then going, "Oh yeah, the card."
It's true. That's what you guys do.
Surprised I
Oh
haven't
shit,
stolen
the
yet.
cart!
Well,
Alright.
I suppose take it easy for tonight, and get an early start in the morning.
That sounds good. Now,
And with that, the Devil's Advocates spend the rest of the evening with idle chatter about a series of books where there's apparently some mad wizard and his apprentice that fuck mermaids.
and asking how Alastair knows that Gara wants me to hit her.
Discussions are had. Let's just say that. Eventually, booze is ingested. Nothing too crazy, but you all take another long rest. So Zane, you can have that 1 HP back.
Yes.
In the morning, with the exception of Zaz, who just, kind of half sleeps, you all wake up about the same time.
DM,
Yes,
can I actually, before everyone gets up, go do something?
you may.
I want to go to the outskirts of the town and cast Speak with Plants.
Okay.
I'm going to ask the surrounding foliage if I can. Are my
Okay.
gnolls here yet?
None of them have had an encounter with any gnoll in the recent days.
Okay.
Just a DM's note here. And you're kind of attuned with nature and have a pretty good sense of distance. Ashbourne to Dragontail is...
Oh, and it took us a month and a half.
Yeah, it's 20 days journey by foot, maybe more.
Okay. And then I'll just be back at the inn.
Okay. So you all wake up. Now, are you taking your cart to the High Palace or not?
Yeah.
I don't see why not.
Okay.
Yeah.
You make your way to the High Palace, and you're met outside by Gara, predictably. She kind of looks at you, comes down, and pets your horses. And goes, unfortunately, you will not be able to take this with you. However, we do understand that it may be precious, as animals are important. We will keep it here, and we will keep them safe until you return, if that is what you'd like.
Quirin, she likes animals. Use that to your advantage.
Thank you.
I can hear you.
She's looking right at you, Quirin.
I give her a wink.
Quirin, I
Oh
assume
my
you're kind of
God.
looking at her a little terrified,
No, more like, I'm sorry.
but you're focused on her.
Yep.
Make a perception check.
14.
She's 10.5 feet tall, but she's not Goliath.
Okay.
Her eyes are very gray, though. Like, very gray.
Yep.
She kind of looks around and goes, all right then. I assume you're all ready.
Yes.
Well then. This way. And she leads you into the chamber. And instead of walking you all the way down the hall, about halfway, she turns to a portrait. Kind of looks up and down the hall. Runs her fingers along the edge of the frame that contains just a typical landscape. Nothing overly fancy. And finds a particular eye on a carving of a griffin and turns it ever so slightly and pulls the portrait back, revealing a secret door. She leads you down the stairs that are revealed, the door closing behind you. You come to a rather well-lit room, very carefully kept, and you see Queen Margaret preparing some rites with a book. She looks up and says, "Oh, good. You're all here and ready then."
Yes.
Yes.
Before we go, I would like to talk to Gara, if I could.
By all means. As long as that's all right with Gara. Gara kind of looks over at Quirn. I suppose.
I'm definitely giving him a, good game, see on the field butt pat as he leaves.
What the fuck?
Are you just walking up the stairs?
To try and get some privacy, yeah.
Okay. Walk up the stairs. It's a kind of a spiraling staircase, so it's not too hard. She's looking at you, unimpressed.
So Alastor has imposed quite a bit on me in the past few days. And I wanted
Okay.
to speak to you of my forthright nature the other day. Since I left my tribe, I fully expected never to see a woman of strength and honor again. And you floored me. I wish to thank you for that. You brought an aspect that I did not expect to see in this world. Thank you. That being said, I cannot pursue anything or pursue you as much as I would like to. I have a duty and an honor that I must go through with first.
You're making a wise decision. I think you'd find once you get further than skin deep, you'd be very disappointed.
Pussy deep.
I have no doubt it is the same on my end.
I doubt that greatly.
If I may, gonna get her to motion or lean down towards me.
Make a persuasion check.
Come on. Fuck.
She doesn't lean forward like Dutch, like little Dutch kids kissing.
Yep.
She kind of leans to the side and goes, "What?"
Am I within arm's reach?
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna hit her.
Make an attack roll.
Strength. 9. Fuck.
Oh, I wanted this to go well.
So you do hit her because she's letting you hit her.
Yep.
So go ahead and roll your unarmed strike damage. Or is it just one for you?
One arms.
Should just be one, I believe.
No.
Plus your.
My
strength.
plus hit is +7. Sorry.
Oh,
And,
okay.
It is 4 damage.
4 damage. Okay, so go ahead and take 4 damage, Quern.
Yep.
Because when you hit, I assume you hit her on the cheek.
Yep.
It's like hitting a stone.
Yep.
And make a perception check with disadvantage, please.
Perception?
Yeah. At disadvantage.
15.
15. There's a striking pain up your arm. But even through that, and even through your vision kind of going white for a second, you swear when you hit her, you heard like a clang. She kind of leans back and goes, "Are you done?"
Yes. Thank you.
At this point, you're at the top of the stairs, kind of.
Yep.
The door opens and Rodwin kind of goes, "Oh, am I intruding?"
We just finished.
Been here a while then. Excellent.
Just terrible jokes. Oh.
Don't worry. You'll get used to them. Anywho, my wife mentioned that you were all here, and I do have a small briefing to give you all. So, onwards we will go. You head down the stairs.
Yep.
Roderick kind of looks upon the rest of the Devil's Advocates, nods to his wife and goes, "All right, so, we will be using this teleportation circle here, and we will be sending you to the one teleportation circle in Rivermouth. Now, I am going to warn you, the only teleportation circle in Rivermouth is in the Dockmaster's office, in Rivermouth. He is expecting you. He's a little gruff, but he is a friend. His name is Hollis Tide. Once there, he'll be able to direct you to at least the direction of the tribe. He does not know your purpose, so you will have to ask questions, and you will have to do so discreetly. He is probably not someone you want to get on the bad side of. Am I understood?
Yep.
All right. Step into the circle then, please.
What? Hold on. Will it hurt?
Oh, horrible pain.
Stepping the circle.
He's smiling at you, Alastair. He leans in and goes, "Alastair, you're doing me a favor, and that's my brother-in-law. Do you really think I'd bring you here to intentionally hurt you?"
No.
There's no one in this room right now who wishes any harm on any of you. Kind of looks over to Gara. Except maybe her.
I'll step into the circle.
So will Zane.
Okay. Are all 5 of you in the circle?
Yes.
Yep.
All right. Margaret begins a series of incantations. And It takes a moment, and you eventually see the circle underneath you light up blue and start swirling and swirling and swirling. And then, almost as if someone has grabbed the cuff of your shirt, you feel yourself just yanked forward through. Everything's a blur. You see colors of green and brown. And eventually you find yourself standing in a different room. There's a kind of a whoosh in the room, and you look around and you find yourself in a rather well-lit office-type space with lots of windows, lots of very richly carved wood. There's kind of a start from two individuals, one standing in the door and the other just a few feet away talking. The one turns around, looks at you and goes, "All right, then. Suppose I'm supposed to be talking to you guys."
I assume you're Paulus Tide.
Yeah, that'd be me. So, to what do I owe the pleasure? And to whom?
You can call us the Devil's Advocates.
Okay. Is that like a crew name or something?
That's the name of the
I
group.
guess so.
Yeah.
Interesting. I should probably change the music, as the ambience outside very quickly kind of throws you off, as it's very different than Dragon Tale. And for some of you, this ambience might be very familiar because it's the only one I could fucking find.
Soundscape.
Yeah.
Also, just as a footnote, the last thing I do before we get whooshed, I just wave to my sister. Just a footnote.
Yep. Yes. All right. So I'm real busy. Been told you're probably gonna have some questions for me. So, what do you got?
What were you, just to make things a little simpler, what were you told about us coming here?
I was told that Crown was going to be sending someone on down here. They have a problem they want dealt with. Not familiar with the area. That's pretty much it. Just asked that I be ready. And at least welcoming, so that I don't fry you when you come on through.
That's appreciated.
Hmm.
What do you know about the surrounding...
We're looking for the Goliath
Areas.
tribe.
At this point, the door opens and goes, Dockmaster Tide, excuse me. Yeah. We have a merchant ship in Port 5. All right, yep, was expecting him. Okay, yeah, so, sorry about that. Merchant, sorry, I'm kind of lost now. Goliath.
Yeah, there's a tribe of them.
Yeah. Blood Kriega, I believe, is what I recall them calling themselves. Corin,
Yep.
you speak giant. Blood Warriors.
Oh, fuck.
Blood Kriega. Yeah. Seem like a spooky bunch. Don't bother us too much, but anyone that heads on up there past the Dark Wilds don't come back, so...
And you've never done any trade or...
No. At this point, the door opens again and goes, "Oh, excuse me, Dockmaster." Yeah. We have a passenger vessel on Dock 8. Yeah, was expecting them. All right. Thank you. Yeah. Sorry, what were you saying?
So, in this town's history, you've never...
No, they just pretty much keep themselves, and that's how they like it. So, that's all we do.
The people that went there and disappeared, do you know what their intentions were?
No, can't say that I can really think of actually knowing any of them. At this point, the door opens again and goes, Dockmaster. Yep. We have Southcrest ships heading in. Goes, all right. Actually, I wasn't expecting that one. You know what? Go ahead and send the entire fleet out. It's been a while. I'm sure they could afford a little bit of action. The entire fleet. Yep, send them all out. Get the rust off. They're just sitting around drinking anyway. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. I'm a busy man. I work as a dockmaster and what do you call
Fleet.
it? Mayor. Yeah, fleet.
Not to be rude, but it sounds like there are people in your waters that shouldn't be here.
Yeah. There's not an easy way over the Iron Golden Peak, so a lot of the refugees there from that nation that I guess the ancestors escaped from, they tried coming around. They're not welcome here. So we stop them.
And just sink them?
No, capture them or send them back.
Oh.
Give them a choice.
Is there anybody in here that might, and not to be offensive, might have a better understanding of the geography or the, town history or anything like
Nope.
that?
Probably just me.
Is there a cart or something that you can lend us?
I suppose so. Why? You need to head up to the mountains.
We need to go and see the tribe, yes.
You can see what I can do. As of right now, you're not going to find a lot of carts or nothing like that. We actually just had 2 massive ships stolen in the night. So, for the most part, all removable vehicles and the sort have been kind of cleared away from this section of the city.
Perhaps some horses we could use?
Yeah, I'm sure we can do that. I'm sure someone in the inner city. And he points over to the wall. And on the wall, you see this.
Ooh, a new map.
Yeah, you're in a new city.
Fancy.
Still loading.
Mhm.
Okay.
It's still loading.
Ooh.
The Jackyard.
Mess loading.
Yep, no worries. Just so you're aware, because you notice this, Jackyard is a Jackyard topsail, at least, is a triangular topsail set above the mainsail in a gaff-rigged vessel. So it's nautical terms.
I did know that.
Mm-hmm.
That's because Corey is a fan of the Jackyard.
I bet he is. It's like,
I know a thing
yeah,
or two about the Jackyard.
I bet you do. This point, as he points, another person comes in and goes, "Sir, we have a very small trade vessel at Dock 11, and we have a rather large passenger ship coming over from East Cliff in Dock 3." Yes. Yep. All are expected, all on schedule. I don't know why you guys keep telling me this stuff. Sir, it's because you don't... Yeah, I don't share the schedule. Anyway, as I was saying, I'm sure we can figure something out. In terms of horses, not a lot around here is free. Yeah. I'm sure we can figure something out, some way for you all to earn your keep.
I have a thought. If you find it annoying that people are coming in and telling you the schedule, why not have some sort of like arriving, departure, rotating sort of signage on the side of the building?
Just due to the simple fact that we had 2 ships just go missing, and I'd like to personally check every ship that comes in and every ship that goes out.
How does a ship go missing? Like
That's
sink?
a real good question.
What type of ships? Merchant? Passenger?
They were designed more as what would you call them? attack ship.
Oh.
So needless to say, I'm a little on edge. At this point, someone else comes in the door and goes, "Sir, we have a very small passenger vessel on dock 2." Yeah,
Well,
dock 2. Hold on, no, you hold on one second. What do you mean dock 2? Small vessel, maybe half the size of the one at dock 1. At this point, he kind of heads over to his desk and starts flipping through papers and goes, It's not supposed to be anything here at dock 2.
Cool.
At this point, you guys hear a sound that you heard once before, actually. A very loud cracking sound that you heard just outside of Swordbreak, actually, from one Clayton Hendricks. As you hear several gunshots fired. You see all... Go ahead.
That's not supposed to be happening.
No,
is
it's
it?
not supposed to be happening. He kind of goes over to the corner, and you see Hollis grab a massive warhammer, puts it over his shoulder. You see kind of like a bit of lightning crackle up, and he goes, "How do you guys want to earn your keep right now?"
I am absolutely there. And I'll pull my sword out.
And that's where we're going to go next week.
Into battle!
So, I know we're a little over time, but we did start a tad bit late. So, not much more to say other than tune in next week for potentially pirates.
Yeah, pirate!
If you stayed with us this whole time, thank you. Wasn't the most action-packed session, but it was a fun one nonetheless. So, we will hopefully see you here next week. And as always, bon nuit.
Bon nuit.
Onward.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Gonna get a goodbye.